I'm 74 years old. Well, I was 74 when I recorded this. If you're watching this now, I'm gone. Dead. And before you click away thinking this is morbid or depressing, I need you to understand something. This might be the most important message you ever hear, because I'm about to tell you things that living people are too afraid to say. You see, when you're alive, you worry about offending people. You worry about being judged. You hold back truths because you're afraid of the consequences. But I don't have those concerns anymore. I'm speaking to you from beyond the grave, and I have nothing left to lose, which means I can finally tell you the complete, unfiltered truth about death, life, and the lies everyone tells themselves. I recorded this video 6 months ago when my doctors told me I had maybe a year left. Cancer. Stage 4. Inoperable. They gave me the speech about quality of life and making the most of the time remaining. And sitting in that office, listening to my death sentence, I made a decision. I wasn't going to spend my final months pretending everything was fine. I was going to use whatever time I had left to say what needed to be said. So I set up this camera. I wrote down everything I wished someone had told me when I was your age, and I arranged for this video to be published after my death, because some truths are too raw, too uncomfortable for a living person to share. But a dead man can say anything. Here's the first truth nobody wants to hear. You're going to die too. Not someday in the distant future. Not when you're old and ready. You're going to die, and you have no idea when. Could be 50 years from now. Could be next Tuesday. You think you're exempt? You think you're special? You're not. Death doesn't care about your plans. Death doesn't care about your goals or your dreams, or how much you still have to accomplish. Death shows up when it shows up, and you don't get a vote. I thought I had time. Even at 74, even with cancer, part of me believed I'd somehow slip through. That's how powerful the denial is. We all think we're the exception. We'll be the ones who live to 95. We'll be the ones who get to say everything we need to say. We'll be the ones who get enough time to fix our mistakes and heal our relationships and accomplish everything on our bucket list. We're wrong. Every single one of us is wrong about this. When I was 53, my best friend died. Heart attack. 49 years old. Healthy, athletic, didn't smoke, went to the gym 4 times a week. Dead in his driveway before the ambulance arrived. His wife found him collapsed next to his car, keys still in his hand. He was supposed to meet me for lunch that day. Instead, I went to identify his body at the morgue. At his funeral, I remember thinking, that won't be me. I'll have warning. I'll have time to prepare. And you know what? I was lucky. I did get warning. 6 months. Most people don't even get that. Most people get what my friend got. 0 notice. 1 minute you're alive, thinking about lunch and afternoon meetings and what you're going to watch on TV tonight. The next minute, you're gone. No goodbye, no final words, no chance to say all the things you meant to say. But here's what 6 months of knowing you're dying teaches you. Nothing you worried about matters. Nothing. All those years I spent anxious about money, reputation, what people thought of me. Completely meaningless. You know what matters when you're counting down your final days? Only 3 things. The people you loved, the moments you experienced, the person you were. That's it. Nothing else even registers. I don't think about the promotion I didn't get in 1987. I don't think about the argument I had with a colleague in 2003. I don't think about the car I wanted but couldn't afford. I don't think about my professional achievements or my failures. None of that occupies even a second of my remaining mental energy. You know what I think about? The camping trip I took with my son when he was 12. The way my wife laughed at terrible jokes. The sunset I watched from a beach in Greece. The small quiet moments I barely noticed at the time, but that now feel like treasures. Let me tell you about my biggest regret. Not my biggest mistake, my biggest regret. Because mistakes are about things you did wrong. Regrets are about things you never did at all. When I was 38, I had an opportunity to take a year off and travel with my wife. We'd been talking about it for years, dreaming about it. We had some money saved, no kids yet. Perfect timing. I had this whole plan worked out in my head. We'd go to Southeast Asia, spend months just exploring, then Europe, maybe South America, live cheaply, stay in hostels, just be young and free and together. My wife was so excited. She bought travel guides, started learning basic phrases in different languages, made lists of all the places she wanted to see, and I didn't do it. You know why? Because I was afraid. Afraid of what my boss would think, afraid of falling behind in my career, afraid of spending the money, afraid of looking irresponsible to my parents, my colleagues, society, afraid that when I came back, I'd have lost my competitive edge, that younger employees would have passed me by, that I'd never recover professionally. So I said, let's wait a few more years. Let's save more money. Let's wait until the timing is perfect. I said this while looking at my wife's face, watching the light go out of her eyes. She smiled and said, okay, she understood. She always understood. But something changed that day. The dream got smaller, more distant, less real. The timing was never perfect. We had kids 2 years later. Work got busier. I got promoted, and suddenly I was too important to take extended time off. Money got tighter somehow, even though we made more. There was always a reason to wait. Always something more important. Always next year. And my wife died 7 years ago. Aneurysm. She was making breakfast. I was getting ready for work. I heard a crash in the kitchen, found her on the floor. By the time the ambulance arrived, she was gone. Instant. No warning. No chance to say goodbye. 59 years old. We never took that trip. We waited for the perfect time, and the perfect time never came. Instead, we got no time at all. When I'm gone, and I am gone, if you're watching this, one of my last thoughts will be about that trip we never took. Not about the promotion I didn't get. Not about the business deal that fell through. Not about any professional success or failure. The trip, the experience, the year we could have had together but sacrificed for later. Later is a lie. Later doesn't exist. There's only now, and now keeps becoming then. And eventually there's no more now at all. Every time you say later, you're gambling. You're betting that you'll still be alive later, that the people you love will still be alive later, that your health will hold, that circumstances won't change, that opportunity won't pass. You're betting your one precious life on later, and the house always wins. Here's something you need to understand about death. It's not the ending that's tragic. It's all the living you didn't do before the ending. I'm not afraid of being dead. Being dead is nothing. It's the same as before I was born, just non-existence. I'm angry about all the time I wasted being afraid to live, afraid to take risks, afraid to disappoint people, afraid to choose my own happiness over everyone else's expectations. You're doing this right now. I can't see you, but I know you are. You're putting off something important, some conversation you need to have, some dream you want to chase, some change you need to make, some person you need to call, some place you want to visit, some truth you need to speak. You're telling yourself you'll do it later, when you have more money, when you have more time, when you're more prepared, when you're more confident, when the kids are older, when you get that promotion, when you lose weight, when you feel ready. You're lying to yourself. You know how I know? Because I did exactly the same thing for decades. I was a master of postponement, an expert at finding reasons to wait. And now I'm dying, and all those reasons seem so stupid, so meaningless, so obviously just fear dressed up as practicality. I had a terrible relationship with my father. He was critical, emotionally distant, impossible to please. Nothing I did was ever good enough. I could bring home straight A's, and he'd ask why I didn't get A+. I could win an award, and he'd point out someone who won a bigger one. I could work 80 hours a week, and he'd suggest I wasn't ambitious enough. And I resented him for years, decades. I'd see him at holidays, and we'd exchange pleasantries. But there was this wall between us, this cold, hard barrier made of all the disappointment and criticism and emotional neglect. And I kept telling myself I'd deal with it someday. We'd have that conversation. I'd confront him about how he made me feel. We'd work through our issues. We'd find some resolution, maybe even some kind of peace. He died when I was 61. Suddenly, stroke. I got the call from my mother at 3 in the morning. He was in the hospital. By the time I got there, he was already gone. We never had that conversation, never got the resolution, never got to work through anything. And you know what I realized at his funeral, standing over his casket, looking at his face for the last time? It didn't matter who was right or wrong about whatever we'd been fighting about for all those years. None of that mattered. What mattered was that I'd wasted 40 years being stubborn. 40 years I could have had some kind of relationship with him, however imperfect. 40 years of Christmases and birthdays and Sunday dinners where we could have at least tried to connect. Gone. Because I was waiting for him to change, or for the perfect moment to address things, or for, I don't even know what. I was waiting for him to apologize. That's what it was, really. I was waiting for him to say, "I'm sorry I was a bad father. I'm sorry I was so critical. I'm sorry I made you feel like you were never enough." And he never said it. He never was going to say it. So I sacrificed decades of potential relationship, flawed, difficult, but real, waiting for words that were never coming. The grudges you're holding on to right now, they're stealing your life. Not the other person's life, yours. Every day you stay angry, every day you refuse to reconcile, every day you let pride keep you from reaching out. You're the one who loses. Because that other person might die tomorrow. Or you might. And then what? Then you're stuck with that unfinished business forever. No resolution, no peace, just regret that eats at you for whatever time you have left. Let me tell you what happens in your final days. Everyone suddenly wants to make peace. Everyone wants to say, "I love you, and I'm sorry, and thank you for everything." People you haven't spoken to in years show up at your bedside. Old friends, distant relatives, former colleagues, everyone crying, everyone hugging, everyone finally saying all the things they should have said years ago. And it's beautiful, but it's also heartbreaking, because you realize how easy it would have been to say these things all along, how many opportunities you had, how much richer your relationships could have been if you'd just been brave enough to be vulnerable earlier, if you'd just picked up the phone, if you'd just sent the email, if you'd just shown up, if you'd just said the words. I'm recording this from my bedroom. The same bedroom I've slept in for 30 years. I'm weak, I'm in pain, I'm on enough medication to knock out a horse. Some days I can barely stay awake for more than a few hours, and people keep coming to visit, telling me they love me, sharing memories, crying, telling me how much I meant to them, how I influenced their lives, how they'll never forget me. And I'm grateful, truly. But part of me wants to scream, where was this honesty 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Why did we all wait until I'm dying to say what we really feel? Why do we need the excuse of death to finally be authentic with each other? My neighbor, a man I've lived next to for 25 years, came to visit last week. We've exchanged pleasantries over the fence for 2.5 decades, talked about weather and lawn care and the occasional sports game. Friendly, but surface level. And he sat in that chair right there crying, telling me I was one of the best friends he ever had. That our conversations meant the world to him, that he always looked forward to seeing me. And I'm thinking, we could have been real friends. We could have actually known each other, had dinners together, shared our lives, been there for each other during hard times. Instead, we spent 25 years talking about grass and pretending that was a relationship. And now that I'm dying, he's finally telling me the truth. Too late to do anything with it. Too late to build what we could have built. Don't do this. Don't wait until someone's deathbed to tell them they mattered. Don't wait until your deathbed to live authentically. Do it now, while you still have time. While they still have time. Here's the thing about mortality that nobody tells you. It's not dignified. It's not peaceful. It's messy and uncomfortable and sometimes humiliating. I'm 74 years old, and I need help going to the bathroom. I can't eat solid food anymore. I wake up in pain every single day. I have to plan my day around when the pain medication wears off. I can't walk more than 10 feet without getting exhausted. I can't shower by myself. I can't button my own shirt. This isn't how I want it to go. Nobody wants to go like this. But this is reality. Death isn't some gentle fading away into the sunset with soft music playing and your loved ones gathered around looking peaceful. It's your body slowly betraying you. Everything you took for granted, walking, eating, breathing without thinking about it, becomes a struggle, becomes impossible. And you know what the cruelest part is? Your mind stays sharp. Right up until the end, for most people, you're fully aware of what you're losing, fully aware of what's happening to you, fully aware that this is it. No more chances, no do-overs, game over. You're trapped in a failing body with a functioning mind, watching yourself disappear piece by piece. I wish I'd known this at 30, at 40, at 50. I wish I'd truly understood that my body wasn't going to work forever, that my time wasn't infinite, that someday was actually a very specific day, and it was coming whether I was ready or not. If I'd known, really known, deep in my bones, I would have lived so differently. I wouldn't have worked 70-hour weeks for a company that replaced me within 3 months of my retirement. 3 months. I gave them 32 years, missed countless family dinners, school plays, anniversaries, worked weekends and holidays, sacrificed my health and my relationships. And 3 months after I retired, there was someone else sitting at my desk, and within a year, nobody even remembered my name. I wouldn't have missed my daughter's ballet recitals because I was too busy. She had a recital when she was 8 years old. She was so excited, had been practicing for months, begged me to come. And I had a client meeting that probably lasted 2 hours, and that I don't remember a single detail about today. But I remember her face when I told her I couldn't make it. I remember that perfectly. The way her smile fell, the way she said, "It's okay, Daddy," in that voice kids use when it's absolutely not okay, but they're trying to be brave. She's 43 now, has kids of her own. And sometimes I see her looking at me, and I know she's remembering all those times I chose work over her. All those moments I can never get back. She's forgiven me. She says she has. But I haven't forgiven myself. I wouldn't have chosen money over experiences, achievement over relationships, someday over today. But I didn't know. Or I knew intellectually, but didn't really believe it would happen to me. I thought I was different, thought I had more time, thought there would always be later to make better choices. You're making the same mistake right now. You think you're different. You think you have time. You don't. None of us do. We're all just guessing. Every plan we make is based on the assumption that we'll be alive to execute it. And for some of us, that assumption is wrong. Let me tell you about my granddaughter. She's 26, beautiful, smart, full of potential. And she's miserable. Works a job she hates because it pays well. 60 hours a week, sitting in a cubicle, doing work that doesn't matter to her, for a company she doesn't care about, making money she barely has time to spend. She's in a relationship that's going nowhere because she's afraid to be alone. Her boyfriend, nice guy, but wrong for her, treats her like she's convenient rather than cherished, living in a city she doesn't like because that's where the job is. Expensive, crowded, far from her friends and family. And every time I talk to her, she says the same thing. I just need to get through the next few years, build up my savings, get more established, make the next level, then I'll make changes, then I'll figure out what I really want, then I'll start living the life I actually want. I've tried to tell her. I've tried to explain that those next few years will turn into next decade and then next 20 years. That the goalpost keeps moving, that she's trading the best years of her life, her youth, her health, her energy, her fertility, if she wants kids, for some future that may never come. That by the time she feels established enough to make changes, she'll be a different person with different limitations and different regrets. She smiles and nods and pats my hand, like I'm a sweet old man who doesn't understand modern life, doesn't understand student loans and housing costs and career competition. She thinks she has forever to figure it out. She thinks she's being responsible, practical, smart. She's wrong. She's gambling years of her life on a bet that's almost certainly going to lose. Because here's what's going to happen. She's going to work this job she hates for just a few more years. She's going to get a small raise, which will require her to work even harder to justify it. She's going to get a promotion, which will come with more responsibility and longer hours. She's going to make more money, but somehow her expenses will grow to match her income. She's going to stay in the relationship because leaving feels harder than staying. She's going to wake up at 40 and realize she spent 15 years waiting to start living. If she's watching this now, after I'm gone, maybe she'll finally listen. Sweetheart, if you're seeing this, stop waiting. Stop sacrificing your present for some imaginary future. The job that pays more but makes you miserable isn't worth it. Money is important. I'm not an idiot. I know you need money to survive. But there's a difference between enough money and endless money. You have enough. You're choosing more money over your life. The relationship that's comfortable but not fulfilling isn't worth it. Comfortable isn't love. Comfortable is just fear of change wearing a disguise. You deserve someone who's excited about you, not someone who's just used to you. The approval of people who don't even know you isn't worth it. Your parents, your colleagues, society, they're not living your life. You are. And their opinions about what you should do mean nothing compared to your one opportunity to exist. Your life is happening right now, not 5 years from now, right now. And every day you spend in a life you don't want is a day you'll never get back. You think you're being responsible. You're actually being reckless. You're risking the only thing that really matters, your actual lived experience, for things that don't matter at all. Here's what I want you to understand. I'm dead. I don't get any more days, no more chances to say I love you, no more opportunities to take that trip or write that book or heal that relationship or pursue that dream. I'm done, finished. The credits have rolled on my life, but you're still here. You're still breathing. You still have time. Not unlimited time, nobody has that. But you have today. Maybe you have tomorrow. Maybe you have years. Maybe you have decades. What are you going to do with them? Are you going to keep living for everyone else? Keep putting off joy. Keep saving your life for later. Keep choosing what's expected over what's desired. Keep building a resume instead of a life. Or are you going to wake up today and realize that this is it? This is your one shot at existence. There's no practice round, no second life waiting after this one, no reset button. This is all you get. I spent too many years sleepwalking, going through the motions, checking boxes, meeting expectations, building a life that looked good on paper but felt empty in reality. And now I'm out of time, and all I have are regrets about the life I didn't live. The risks I didn't take, the love I didn't express, the adventures I postponed, the authenticity I was too afraid to embrace. Let me tell you about some specific regrets, real concrete things that haunt me now. I never learned to play piano. I wanted to, loved music, loved the idea of creating it. But I told myself I didn't have time, that I was too old to start, that it was impractical. Now I'm dying, and I'll never know what it feels like to play a song I love. Never know if I had any talent, never get that experience. I never went to Japan. Always wanted to, studied the culture, read books about it. Had a whole itinerary planned in my mind. But I kept waiting for the right time, and the right time never came. Now I'll die never having seen Tokyo, never having visited a Japanese temple, never having experienced something I spent decades dreaming about. I never told my brother I was proud of him. He chose a different path than me, became an artist instead of getting a real job, and I judged him for it, thought he was being irresponsible. Made little comments about his choices, never acknowledged that he was actually brave in a way I never was, that he chose passion over security, that he built a life he loved instead of a life that impressed people. We're barely speaking now, and soon I'll be dead, and he'll never know I respected him more than I ever respected myself. I never wrote the book I had in me. Had an idea for years, a story I wanted to tell, notebooks full of ideas and characters and scenes. But I never actually wrote it. Too busy, too tired, too afraid it wouldn't be good enough. Now someone else will have to clean out those notebooks and throw them away, and the story will die with me. Unborn, unshared, gone. These are the things that hurt. Not my professional failures. Not the money I didn't make or the promotions I didn't get, the experiences I denied myself, the love I didn't express, the creativity I suppressed, the life I put on hold waiting for permission that never came. Don't do this to yourself. Don't wait until you're dying to realize you never really lived. Don't wait until it's too late to become the person you actually wanted to be. Don't sacrifice your one precious existence for safety or approval or money or fear. If there's someone you love, tell them today, not tomorrow. Today. Pick up the phone right now, send the text, write the letter, say the words, tell them they matter, tell them you love them, tell them you're sorry for whatever needs apologizing for, tell them you're grateful. Don't wait for the perfect moment. This is the perfect moment, right now, while you both still exist. If there's something you want to do, start planning it today. Not someday. Today. Open a new document, do a Google search, make a phone call. Take one small step toward that thing you've been dreaming about. Stop researching and start doing. Stop planning and start executing. Stop waiting for permission and give yourself permission. If there's a change you need to make it today. Quit the job, end the relationship, move to the new city, start the business, go back to school. Whatever it is that you know you need to do, but keep postponing. Do it today. Not when you're more ready. You'll never be more ready. Not when you have more money. You'll never have enough money. Not when circumstances are better. Circumstances are never perfect. If there's forgiveness you need to offer or ask for, do it today. Swallow your pride. Accept that you might get rejected. Take the risk anyway. Because carrying grudges takes energy. Energy you could be using to actually live. And the person you're angry at might be gone tomorrow. Then what? Then you're stuck with that anger forever, with no chance of resolution today, while you still can, while they still can, while the opportunity still exists, because I promise you, and I'm speaking from the end of my life now, I'm speaking with complete certainty. The things you'll regret won't be your failures. They'll be all the times you held back, all the times you chose fear over courage, all the times you waited for a better moment that never arrived, all the times you let other people's expectations override your own desires, all the times you told yourself you'd do it later. You think you have time. You don't. None of us do. Time is the scarcest resource you have, and you're spending it like it's infinite. You're trading hours of your life, actual chunks of your existence, for things that won't matter when you're where I am. You're sacrificing today for a tomorrow that might not come. I'm 74 years old. I'm dying. Soon, very soon, I'll be dead. And this video is all I have left. These words are my final act in the world. My last chance to reach through time and shake someone awake before it's too late for them too. I can see the end now. It's not metaphorical. I can literally see it approaching. I can feel my body shutting down. I can sense my time running out. And from this vantage point, from the end looking back, I can see with perfect clarity what mattered and what didn't. And I'm begging you to learn from my mistakes. Don't waste your life preparing to live it someday. Live it now. Messy, imperfect, scary as it is, live it now. Take the risk. Have the conversation. Book the trip. Quit the job you hate. Leave the relationship that's draining you. Tell someone you love them. Create the art. Write the book. Learn the instrument. Visit the place. Do the thing. Not someday. Today. Because someday you'll be where I am, out of time, out of chances, looking back with perfect clarity at all the life you didn't live. And the only question that will matter is, did you really live? Did you actually experience your one shot at existence? Or did you spend it waiting, planning, preparing, postponing? If you're watching this, I'm dead. My time is up. The hourglass is empty, but you're not dead. You're alive. You're breathing. Your heart is beating. You have time, not infinite time, but some time. Maybe decades, maybe years, maybe months, maybe just today. So for the love of God, for the love of your own life, for the love of everyone who cares about you, act like it. Stop sleepwalking. Stop postponing. Stop waiting for perfect conditions that will never come. Start living. Actually living. Not preparing to live. Not planning to live someday. Living. Right now. Today. The clock is ticking. It's always been ticking. You just can't hear it yet because you're young and healthy and you think you're exempt from death. You're not. The clock is ticking for you too. And one day, maybe distant, maybe soon, it stops. What are you going to do before it stops for you? Don't wait until you're recording a video like this. Don't wait until you're dying to realize you never really lived. Don't wait until it's too late. The time is now. It's always been now. There is only now. What are you going to do with it?